All right. Hi everyone, it's Kay, and this is my first solo video on my solo YouTube channel. I've been thinking about creating a channel for a while now, but I was kind of doubting myself a little bit, and I was a little bit afraid of putting myself out there completely, but I just had to work through it, and here I am. So on this channel, I want to discuss things that interest me, like race and beauty and gender and sexuality and mental health, things like that. As a black woman, I think that there are other black women out there who could probably relate to the videos that I'd like to make. So with every video that I make, I am creating them with black women in mind. So the first video that I want to make for this channel talks about hypervisibility and invisibility. And I'm talking about the hypervisibility and invisibility of the black woman specifically. So when I think about the systems designed to aid in my oppression, to oppress me, racism, classism, sexism, etc., and for other black women, there are other things that affect them as well, like homophobia, transphobia, Islamophobia. I think about how those systems function in tandem with one another to then put me in a particular and unique space as a hyper-visible body, but as a completely invisible human. And I think about that, and then I think about what it is that maybe other black women experience and what other black women go through. So when I'm talking about hypervisibility, the way that I think about hypervisibility is through the objectification of black women, the hypersexualization of black women, the negative stereotypes associated with black womanhood, us being difficult, us being bitches, us being full of attitude, us being, the poster people for, being poor and having a lot of children. That's what I think about when I think about hypervisibility. And then when I think about invisibility, I think about us being everyday people who move through the world and exist in a world where so many of our experiences are rendered insignificant, or so many of our experiences are considered to be not believable. That to me is what I think about when I think about the invisibility of black women. When I'm also talking about the black woman being hypervisible and invisible, I am talking about the black woman existing in predominantly white spaces. So there's one example that really stuck out to me, actually. A friend of mine told me about this experience she had where she went to the grocery store and she was in line getting ready to pay, and someone cut her off, and she had to say, "Oh, excuse me, I was actually first." And the person said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see you there." And she was explaining to me, how do you not see me? That doesn't make sense. How do you not see me standing in line? And then there's another example another friend told me about at the workplace, where people who were kind of leading a diversity initiative and an inclusivity initiative were talking about putting up a poster that lets people know how inclusive and diverse they actually are. So time passes, and then she sees the poster, and there were absolutely no people of color in the poster. And she had to say to them, do you not see what this poster even looks like? And they said, "Oh, sorry, we didn't even notice." When I think about my own personal experiences, and I think about the experiences that other black women have shared with me, and other stories that I've read about or I've watched YouTube videos about, and I think about how we are hypervisible in some ways and how we are invisible in other ways, it really does reinforce how vulnerable we are in this society when talking about systems of oppression. Even when I think about the role that feminism plays in our lives, if that's an ideology that a person subscribes to, the difference in these ideologies between what is considered to be white feminism and what is considered to be black feminism, or what is considered to be womanism and black feminism, whether you use those terms interchangeably or whether you view them as completely separate political ideologies, those two ideologies, for example, They grew out of a very specific and particular need to recognize the struggles of Black women and service the needs of Black women when their needs were not being met with white feminists. You know, these women are explaining, you don't understand how my experiences are racialized, gendered, and then there's the issue of class as well. This is something that is particular to me in my experience, and it's important that I'm included when discussing these issues because I'm deemed invisible otherwise. When I think about the issue of hypervisibility and I think about the issue of invisibility, I think about how important it is to be sensitive to and inclusive of Black women's experiences, whether it be a Black trans woman and her experience, or it's a Black queer woman and her experience, or it's a cis het woman and her experience. These are all different experiences that need recognition and need to be included when discussing the issues of women. Us Black women as everyday people, our experiences are so racialized and so gendered sometimes that people don't actually see us for who we are, and then their projections, their ideas and perceptions of who we are gets pushed onto us, making it difficult for us to navigate society, navigate particular spaces, and that's a very dangerous thing. For example, Black trans women are hypervisible in the sense that people objectify them, dehumanize them, other them, you know, ask inappropriate questions about their body that have nothing to do with anything when she's talking about real issues, when she's explaining how vulnerable she is to violence, how vulnerable she is to joblessness and homelessness. These are things that people need to be paying attention to, and yet they just objectify her, they other her, and they continue to marginalize her and alienate her from people and resources. And that's a problem. How do you fully see a person if you're not taking into account all of the things that they deal with, all of the things that they are affected by? So I'll even give another example, like Fenty Beauty, and the way that Rihanna came out and completely killed it, because it was almost as if people didn't realize that a lot of Black women like makeup too, a lot of women of color like makeup too, and the struggle that we've had over time to find makeup, something as simple as makeup, to fit us, people weren't really paying attention to. Even something as simple as that, to me, demonstrates how we are seen and not seen. Even for me, when I would go somewhere and try to find makeup and I would have a hard time finding it, I could only imagine what it's like for a woman who's of a deeper complexion. So it's amazing that Rihanna came out with an inclusive makeup line like that, and it shows how much of a need there was for it, because she completely sold out. I'm still trying to get a foundation and I can't. I also think it's really important that us as Black women just continue to do what we've been doing, taking care of ourselves and doing our thing. And it's important that we continue to do that for one another, because so many people don't want us to have that. Respectability politics, changing yourself, what it's only going to do is silence you more, make you more invisible in one way and make you more hypervisible in another way. They want us to continue to be silent so that we don't take up that much space. And personally, I think we should take up as much space as we want to and as much space as we can. So that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Please comment and subscribe.